Hello, dear student. This is Amir Khan, your social studies teacher. Today, our topic is on the Mauryans, and then we will discuss about the Ashokas. So, these two topics we will discuss it today. So, we have here that we will learn about. You will learn about the Mauryans' importance and their system, what kind of system they were doing in their government, and that Ashoka and Ashoka's reform as well. So first of all, if we come to the Mauryans, so in the Mauryans, it was you well known about. Look at this map that Mauryans in this recent, like from Afghanistan and northern part of subcontinent till to Bangladesh, recent countries. These were all the dynasties of the Mauryans. So it was considered that around 300 BCE that Mauryans were doing their rules in subcontinent. So you can look over here who was the founder of Chandragupta Maurya, who found these emperor. So what was the major accomplishment in these Mauryans? So you can look over here what kind of construction, what kind of government, tax collection, trading was very fine of this, and economically irrigation system, trading system, architecture, buildings, and we will discuss on the next slides about these one, what kind of religion they were. They separate of the Buddhism it was. So if we come to that, Mauryans dynasty ruled mostly in India. Order was maintained in bureaucracy, built it road and harbor, uh, then collected taxes, royal courts. So these kinds of, you can also look at here, used secret police force to control the crime, corruption. This was the famous for the Mauryans. They were for controlling their corruptions of the government. Here they make the spies of the police which were monitoring over there, which they give them for a facility like in transportation. They were you mostly used of elephants and horses as well. So they have also their harsh lives, but for improvement they mainly work on schools. They make college, they opened that schools and colleges. So these were the main important points of that Mauryans, which was totally different from the other emperors. So they were used to specially train women warriors to guard of his palace. So this is also the famous of this country. So you can look over here what kind of that system they were using, the elephants and horses which they were using for the force, which they make spy polices. They were going to different states to look how they are to looking on the controlling on the corruption. So then this was the famous of that Mauryans. So the police system was very loyal and they were doing their work in properly. So they were also built roads and these things for their country. And one thing I forgot to tell you, at that time is place was there, like we can say that their base of their, at that time Mauryans were in the recent Bihar we find in India. So that was recent Bihar was at that time the base of Mauryans. So then come Ashoka's dynasties over there, who was the grandson of Chandragupta, and he ruled from 273 to 232 BCE. So they ruled in India, and one of the good things of this Mauryans were also the same, the warriors. So what happened once they in the battle of Kalinga, they changed the system of that Ashoka or the Mauryans, that in Kalinga the war that actually they want to conquer that Kalinga. So after that war, Ashoka saw that 1 lakh soldiers were died on here, and 1,50,000 people made prisoner. So that Ashoka upset what would be decisions, he like upsets of these things, that humans are the suffering of these. So what happened? He make a reform. Which reform was there? Ashoka, which is right now very famous of Ashoka's reform. So if we generally discuss from this point, you can look over here. You can also use your book as well. So like what kind of system they made? He abolished the caste system. Which their caste system was there, like higher class, lower class, and they abolished that. There was hospitals for the people and animal. They make hospitals for them. The hospital were staffed with monks who grew herbs for medicine. By their own they were doing medicines. There were rest house for old people at that time. They will make rest houses, which we are right now doing hold houses. Then we come over here. The killing of wild animal was forbidden. Then animal punishment were made less severe. Like punishment were making less in this time. Then all religion were treated equally. So these were the best things of that Ashoka, and they make like these kinds of pillar to reform the for their rule. This was considered as a rule. What was their rule? Edict. That was called their rule. So which they were making a kind of, you can read from here that what was the symbol of the lion and what they were making of these things. So Ashoka's like they make 4 lions at the top wheel. The lions symbolize both Ashoka's imperial rule and kingship of the Buddha. So these you can also read from here by your own. Then you will understand about properly what was actually these signs were. They make the rule of edict one. So that's all. So now you my home task for you is about what kind of police system was in Mauryan state, what they were using for transportation, what they were improving of their government system was there. Then why did Ashoka's become a Buddhist? Then explain the Ashoka's reform. So thank you so much for listening me.